All right, guys. Today we're doing a new series, and it's a 6.5 Creedmoor series. And so happens that Wendell has a 6.5 Creedmoor, so we're going to show you how he has built it and got it all set up. And he has quite the story about behind it. So here we go.
All right, hey guys. Today the video is going to be all about CBTO, cartridge-based ogive, and establishing that your seating depth, figuring out where the rifling starts in your barrel, and then trying to establish your optimal seating depth for your best precision. For that today, we're going to be using my Ruger American Predator. Last year before the elections, Grab a Gun had a big sale going. This was the Ruger American Predator 6.5 Creedmoor. They were on sale for about 400 bucks. Picked it up from there. We've put this in an MDT filled stock. We've got the Ultradyne Apollo S 6.5 muzzle brake on this, Vortex PST2 mill reticle. We got a Lone Star level on it, Vortex rings. I've shot about 200 rounds through this. I've been having fun with it. I've shot some 130 ELDMs, 135 A-tips, 140 ELDMs. But so far we've been about 3/4 inch, more or less, with everything. One of the beautiful things about 6.5 Creedmoor, it is easy to reload for, and they always tend to be pretty darned accurate. So. But we're going to try to dial this in with some 147 ELDMs because I've got a whole mess of those on the shelf. First thing we're going to do is clear the rifle, remove the bolt, make sure our chamber's clear. And so we're going to start with our seating depth. So I always like to just barely seat that bullet out there. And we're going to put that up in the chamber. Push it on in there. Make sure it's seated really well. Loosen this up. Make sure that bullet's pushed up against the rifling. And come on back out. And the bullet stayed in the chamber, so we're going to have to get the bullet out of the chamber.
Wait, will you still be able to measure
it? Yeah, we will. So I just got to get the bullet out of the chamber. May have to get a cleaning rod for this, so we'll be right back. All right, got the bullet out of there. Wasn't as tough as I thought. Bumped it a couple times to fill out. That is the length right there. So now we've got the 26 caliber insert in there. Yeah, we're gonna measure and see what cartridge-based ogive looks like. And I will do this several times to make sure that I'm not pushing too hard. And it looks like 2.49 is right about where we're at. Well, let me get it back over there. No. There we go. 2.455. That is our measurement. 2.455. And 2.4. Yeah. Well, actually, it's 2.455. So we're going to write that down.
That's a good idea. You want to redo it again and measure the chamber, or?
Yeah, we'll check it a couple times. Actually, 2.24 looks to be it. I think I had this turned the wrong direction there that first time. 2.24. And we'll double check it. We'll make sure and verify that again. So we're going to take the bullet out a little bit. We're just starting in the case. Let the rod come back. Make sure we are firmly seated. Make sure the bullet is firmly against the rifling. All right. There we go. That time came out without having to go fishing it out of there. Yeah, I think we pushed it a little bit too hard that first time because we jammed into the rifling. So this time, 2.237, we'll go with 2.365, 2.2365. And just for giggles, we'll try this one more time. Okay. Move that bullet up a little bit. All right, cases all the way in. Keep good, firm pressure, but don't push too hard because you'll wind up jamming your bullet in your rifling. And that's what I just did.
Like that.
Right.
That's what happens.
Yeah, you don't want to jam it into the rifling.
All right.
2.355, 2. Yeah, we're still right there. So 2 point. What, 23, well, 23.55, so we're within 50 thousandths. So I'd say we're pretty good. I think we're going to be right at that 2.2365. So now, just for curiosity's sake, what is that as far as an overall cartridge length? And that is, first got 0. That's an overall cartridge length of 2.88. So that is definitely longer than Sammy Spec. Sammy Spec's 2.8. This is 2.88. So right there, we're touching at 87.95. I mean, so you may as well just call it 2.88 is your overall cartridge length. So probably will not feed from the, well, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves here. We're going to start with that 2.2365 minus 0.0. We're going to come back. First round's going to be 10 thousandths off the rifling, which is going to be 0.0. Because 1/100th is going to be 10 thousandths. So our first seeding depth that we're going to go with is going to be 2.2265. So 2.2265. Our next seeding depth will be 2.2165, followed by 2.2065, 2.1965, and our last one will be 2.1865. So we're going to start 10 thousandths, 20, 30, 40, 50. We'll do 5 seeding lengths and see where our best accuracy comes in. So, and we'll go from there. And we will go out and shoot it tomorrow. So, now we're going to need to move to the reloading bench. So, all right, guys, we're back at the reloading bench. I've got 50 rounds here in the MTM tray. These are Lapua small rifle primer brass. These have been fired twice. They're loaded with the Remington 7.5 inch or 7.5 bench rest primers with stay ball powder, the stay ball 6.5. After second firing, these were we annealed the neck and shoulders on these. So this will be the third loading for this. They've been neck sized, and of course, I always like to look and make sure that I've got what looks like uniform powder levels before I start seating bullets. Everything looks good. Powder charges were dropped with the RCBS Matchmaster. These things are down to tolerance of 0.02 of a grain, so this should be, you know, we're keeping everything pretty tight here. So we've already established that 2.2 365 is going to be touching cartridge-based ogives, going to be touching rifling. So we're going to start with the first one seating at 2.2265. The die is our bullet seater die is already set up in here. I'm just going to back the seating stem off, and we'll start with the first round. I do want to take that primer seater out of there. So now that barely even started it into the case mouth. I know it's going to have to go down a little bit. All right. Turn on the calipers, zero mount. We're looking for 2.2265, and we're at 2.3820, so we're still a good 1/10 of an inch more that needs to come down. So all right, 2.33, we're getting close. All right, 2.3. Definitely a lot closer than we were. Two 2.229, or 2.29. So 2.7. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. That should get us to about 2.224. Yep, 2.241. So we're going to go one more, and about 3 thousandths. .23 exactly. So now we need to go 35 thousandths. So that's going to be a very small amount. .2285. Oh, we almost got it. .226. We're 5. Oh man, 5. We're 50 thousandths. Just a hair too short, so we'll touch it just a little bit. But even still, I mean, we're talking about 50 thousandths on that one. This one should be on the money. All right. Yeah, we're still at 2.2255, and we want to be 65, so just a hair. All right, 2.2265. So this will be the first 10 rounds. The reason I do 10 rounds, one, I like to shoot 5-round groups, and this gives us the ability to shoot 2 5-round groups for every seating depth. So. All right, let's double check the last one. All right, I don't know if you can see it, but 2.2265. I don't know if you can see that or not, but we are right on the money at 2.2265. The thing you got to be really careful about is if you push too hard on these calipers, you'll wind up with a short measurement. You just got to be up against the bullet without being. Don't be overly aggressive, because you'll wind up. You won't be consistent. So, but anyways, all right. So now we got 2.2265. Now we're going to short it to 2.21, and that should be right there. We just turned it 1. And I can't tell you, I love these, the Hornady micro seeder that you can put on your regular Hornady seating die. They really do work well. All right. $2.2165. So now we're going 20 thousandths. We're going to load the next 10. So. And once we get all 50 of these done, we'll make sure we keep them in the right order when we put them in the box. And we'll shoot a low development target with these tomorrow. We'll also chronograph, grab all those velocities, and then we'll have a part 2 to this. We'll get back to you guys, and we will show you how it turns out. So. My experience, Hornady LDMs, if you're within 10 to 15 thousandths of the rifling, it's usually about where you're going to find your sweet spot. And I've been shooting this Winchester Stayball 6.5 for a long time, and not too concerned about powder charges as far as pretty much know where to start with that. So. Yeah, Cody was being kind. He said one will just happen to have a 6.5 Creedmoor. I think I actually have about 6. Something around there. Bought the first one September of 2016. So I was not an early adopter of the 6.5 Creedmoor. In fact, I shied away from it and finally got on board. Bought a Browning Eclipse X-bolt with a thumb hole stock 28-inch target barrel in September of 2016, and then kind of took off from there. I know there's a lot of people out there that either love the 6.5 or they hate the 6.5. I was shooting a lot of 308 and 30-06 before the 6.5, and then started shooting the 6.5, and we've kind of been stuck on that for a while. So, all right, just turned it another 10 thousandths in. This should be 2.2065. This one's measuring up 2.06. So we're within 50,000, so I think we're good. I'm not going to sweat that 50,000. So yeah, anybody out there that's ever tried to fine-tune something like this, you'll know when you get down to 50,000s, you're talking about less than the width of a hair. Yeah, so.
Now, can less than the width of the hair make that much of a difference?
I don't think so. That's why I'm not going to try to adjust from there. Because my marks on the die, the seating die are lining up right now. So that makes it easy. I could tell you from each group of 10, I'm moving the die exactly 10 thousandths. So yeah, I'm not gonna sweat it. So I am curious though, is once we get down to 50 thousandths, what cartridge overall length's gonna look like. So I don't know if we'll be able to run these through the magazine or if we'll have to hand feed them. But yeah, grab it and bring it. So all right, so 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. So now we're going to go to 40, and we're going to go down one more again. All right, so the longest we're at is this guy. And hey, would you look at that? It just clears. So we can run these through the magazine at 2.88. How cool is that? Yeah, just barely. But yeah, hey, 10 thousandths off the rifling, and we're still clearing. And this is a Magpul PMag. It's the Accuracy International format, AICS. So, but that is cool. Yes, we can run all these through the magazine, so that'll be nice. So,
too cool for school, man.
It is. It is pretty slick. This one we're looking for 2.1965. I gotta tell you guys, we're right smack on the money, 2.1965. So we may have been 50 thousandths off on the last one, but we're not on this one. It is tracking exactly 10 thousandths for every one number on the seating die. So may not be perfect, but it's gonna be pretty good. Should be pretty consistent. Yeah, I can tell you for neck sizing this, annealing it, neck sizing it, cleaning it, this brass has got a very consistent seating feel to it too.
Is that LePou brass that you like using?
Yes. You know, I resisted LePou for a long time until I got into 6.5. And when I got into it, 6.5 Creedmoor, you had your choice of Starline, Hornady, and Norma. I'm not sure if Nosler had any yet. And shot a lot of Hornady. And Hornady's good brass, don't get me wrong. But Hornady is just not quite as good as LePou. So when LePou announced they were coming out with small rifle primer brass and Hornady, as soon as it hit the market, we bought it. Me and my shooting buddy, and we went to work with it, and it is pretty good stuff. You know what's funny too? You always hear guys talk about ADG brass or Peterson brass or Norma brass, whoever. You know, and they talk about it and they go, "Well, it's as good as LePou." Well, if it's as good as LePou, why not just shoot LePou? I mean, price-wise, there's not a lot of difference price-wise. And I will tell you this, I've got some LePou brass that has got 10 loadings on it and still going strong. Primer pocket's still tight. So, all right. We're at our last one now. We're looking for 2.1865, and we're at 2.1865. I know it's upside down, but still 2.1865. So, how cool is that? We will, yeah, I can't wait for tomorrow morning so we can go shoot this. Having a lot of fun with that Ruger American Predator. We'll see. If I can't get it to tighten up under ½ inch, then I'll probably just order a barrel. When prefer barrels, or probably prefer barrels. I'll order a barrel and rebarrel it. So that's the beautiful thing about the Ruger American. It has a nut on it, like your Savage does. You loosen the nut, spin the barrel off, spin another barrel on, head space it, and tighten your nut down, and you're done. So also part of why I bought it when it was on sale for $400. So, but I mean, so far it hasn't disappointed. Velocities have been a little bit slow for what I would like to be seeing out of it, but that could also just be getting the barrel broke in. So tomorrow is going to be our first real test on trying to see where this thing's gonna do or not do. Usually, yeah, if you can't get an ELDM and a decent brass to shoot out of a Creedmoor, you're doing something wrong. So that's it. Everything is seated. We are ready for tomorrow. So, all right.
So we'll finish this up tomorrow?
We will finish this after we shoot tomorrow, and we'll go over some groups. So, all right. Everybody have a good night, and we will talk to you tomorrow. All right, guys, this is wrapping up the cartridge-based ogive load development test we did with my 6.5 Creedmoor. We shot 10 groups, 5 rounds apiece, 100 yards. Starting with the upper left, we were 10 thousandths off the rifling, 1-inch group, 0.94, 0.66. Not sure what happened here, but 1.4.
It looks like a mouse. You got the eyes and the mouth. Yeah.
Yeah, very true, very true. Coming down here, so 10, 20, 30 thousandths off the rifling, and you start to see 0.92, 0.48. And I've got the velocities on here too. What we find when we get over here to 0.4 is things really start to come together. If you notice, velocities are pretty consistent. I measure groups center to center, center of impact. Now, this is all on me right here. This is because the left hand wasn't talking to the right hand, and the left hand was trying to bump the stinger over a little bit because I didn't have my sight picture exactly like I wanted it, and the right hand was already taking slack up in the trigger, and well, that was me. But
that
these
one
four
went off to Grandma's house then.
This one definitely went to Grandma's house.
Okay.
This group center to center is 0.26 inches. So we got a 1/4 inch, and this one center to center is 0.32.
Now what happens if you take this one out?
Oh, you take that one out, and you're still. I mean, this is a 1/4 inch group, 0.26, 0.32. If you overlaid these two together, you would still have about a 3/4 inch group for 9 rounds, which. But if you start here at the beginning, if you notice, we start kind of large. Not real sure on this one. Velocities weren't bad, 26.95 to 27.08 for 5. So this could have been me. Come down here, we're under an inch, we're at ½ inch, but this is where everything starts to come together, is right here at 40 thousandths off the rifling. And then we got the last two, these are 50 thousandths off the rifling. I mean, we're at ½ inch here and 0.86 here. So it's real. We start out fairly large, and all of it comes together. So next time I take the rifle out, I'll load 50 rounds at 40 thousandths. And I'm pretty pleased with the velocities. I mean, I'm right in there at 2,700 feet per second. So there was one anomaly on this very first target. Cold barrel, clean cold barrel. The first shot out was 2649. And then they jumped up here right around 2,700. But now, one thing I will point out is when we started here, we were at 34 degrees. When we finished down here, it was about 65 degrees. So if you notice, velocities are pretty steady. 2690, 2738, 2686, 2708. It stayed pretty stable, even though we had an increase of about 30 degrees in ambient temperature. So I will say this, stay ball does seem to be pretty consistent. I mean, the warmest part of the day, our high was 2712, and coldest part of the day, we were at 2700. So, I mean, that worked out pretty well. So we will move forward, and that's pretty much a wrap. So next one out will be Cody's rifle with 308. We're going to be doing the cartridge-based overdrive. We're going to be identical tests. We're going to start at 10 thousandths, 20, 30, 40, 50. We've already established his powder node, and we're going to see what his rifle likes. So, anyways,
thanks.
That was it, guys.
So I wanted to say thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys getting this far in the video, and like and subscribe, and stand by for more. Thanks.
Yep.